Hi, I'm Mia, and I want to do kind of something warm and toasty and peachy. But it's kind of cold today. Like, I don't think it broke 75 degrees, and it's been kind of gloomy. So just something like warm and, again, a little peachy, because I do have another Half Magic single that's called like Softcore Peach or something. So I want to do something along those lines. I also might be going into work tonight, so yay. But let's get into it. But on a very large fluffy brush, I'm taking the Transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics, if I can get this open. And I'm going to take some of Natural mixed with Caramel. And we're just gonna, I don't know if peachy is the right word, but toasty is definitely going to be the more apt description. But kind of warm neutral eyeshadow with, you know, that little peach shimmer that I have, and definitely peachy lips and cheeks, so it ties together in the long run. But no, today is Monday, August 17th, and my baker just called out for the night, and I have no one else available because, you know, one of my bakers, she isn't able to, which fine. One of my other isn't able to because he's in Rhode Island and doesn't think he'll be back in time, even though they're leaving soon. I don't know what part of Rhode Island, so who's to say. My shift lead is off. My other two shift leads are already working because, you know, the other one disappeared. And I'm like, we're not doing this again. And they're taking just a little bit of caramel and building this up a little. And she's like, you know, I told him, like, you know, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, she's like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I guess I'll come in at like 9. She's like, I can always text the other shift lead because he works for Fenway, but he can usually leave by the 9th in, or the 7th in, whatever it is. Just, he works concessions, so they stop concessions at some point. I'm like, or our concept, I can come in. I'm like, I know it is my day off, but she's like, no, she's like, I feel bad. You've been doing doubles and doing all this nonsense. I'm like, I know. And today was supposed to be my day off. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the shade Hazelnut and some of the shade Toffee. I'm just going to kind of build this up. Which is really funny because the open and shift lead tried to call out this morning. And I was like, no offense, it's not happening. She also texted me at 1:33 in the morning, like, oh my god, hey, she's like, I haven't been feeling well all day and I don't think I'm going to be able to come into my Monday shift. I'm like, if you haven't been feeling good all day, why wouldn't you text me when you woke up being like, oh my god, hey, I don't feel great. I'm going to see what happens throughout the day, and like, I'll let you know. And I'd be like, oh my god, yeah, of course. Instead of 1:33 when I'm asleep. God forbid. And then I woke up at 3 o'clock because I was sweating my ass off. And I saw that and I'm like, we're gonna not. And I told him, like, I lied to her. I'm like, I have a doctor's appointment for my chest thing. I'm like, I can't. She's like, no, it's fine, I'll come in. I'm like, and my mother had said something. The Dominican festival was yesterday. She's like, is she like hung over? I'm like, well, she is Dominican, so like, I don't want to stereotype her and say that because she's Dominican. She was at said Dominican festival. But, well, you didn't request, she also requested yesterday off, the Sunday. So she requested that day off, but she didn't request her birthday off. I'm like, So I'm gonna text my shift lead that's closing tonight. And be like, how was she when you got in? Like, you know, And then on the tiniest, flattest edged brush, I'm going to take some of Hazelnut, and then some of, sorry, I need to check which one's a little warmer tone, and then some of Coffee Beans. I'm going to do a very smudgy smudge. I haven't done this in a while, so. But I'm like, I'm not trying to get out of coming in, even though you told me not to. I'm like, it is Monday. I'm like, besides the fact that most musicals don't do shows on Mondays, I'm like, there's none in the area. There's no concerts tonight. I'm like, there's nothing at TD Garden, because again, there's no concerts, and it's not quite basketball season, so I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to get out of it. And like, there's no comedy shows or anything in the area, so I'm like, it could be. I'm like, text me by 8, see what happens. I'm like, I've seen the sales for the past few, whatchamacallthems, Mondays. I'm like, logistically, you didn't need a second person on anyways. And then we're just going back in with some of that hazelnut shade. And just trying to bring as much warmth into the eye as possible. Again, peach is a stretch, but it'll get peachy. But I also need to see if, because the kid who works at Fenway, he's like, I need money, abuse me. And I went, girl, say less, we have no employees, you know? So I don't know if he'll be like, yeah. He's like, I'll zoom over here. She's like, I just want help with clean. I'm like, yeah, that's all I really want from you too. So, and then this is just on my glitter primer. It's funny because I thought I was supposed to be on a, like, you know, leaders huddle call today, because I was on last week, and usually I just get the, you know, email link sent to me by my assistant district because I don't have access to my company branded email. I didn't get anything. The call usually lasts from 4:30 to 5:30. It's 5:14. It's probably 4:45 when I started this, so I'm like, I'm not complaining about this. But like, if I get scolded, it's not on me, you know? And then the reason I want to use this is from Half Magic. This is the eyeshadow singles in the shade Softcore Peach. Like I said, I wanted a little something. Again, I really don't want to go in today, because again, I worked yesterday. You know, I already worked my 5 days for the week, which included closing last Monday, so I don't want to make that a habit. And I really don't want to be taking the train home at midnight again, especially because next week I'm screwed and I have no closers still. I don't have a closing baker for Tuesday. I don't have anything, man. I've got Bub Kiss. Also, this eye looks, I know it's so soft, so boring, so neutral, but like this shimmer, girl, that peachy shade. But something very easy. I'm gonna find some lashes and I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back with some lashes on. I'm gonna go in with the Kulfi Double Life Serum Primer. But we did a fairly late shenanigan, but it was still fairly light. Like, we left at like 11:30. It was kind of awful. Usually we're out of the house by 9:15. Maybe a little earlier. So we had a very late start today. And it showed because everyone was awful and evil and just, like, we missed the Mormons at Walmart. So, like, thank God, but, like, every parent and their child were there. And then we went to Trader Joe's. That was surprisingly okay. We did get samples. It was the little frozen taiyakis with guava spread. Fun fact, I don't like guava spread. It tastes exactly how it smells, and not in a good way. And then this is from Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Glow Serum in the shade Main Squeeze. Went to Target for some, like toilet paper and paper towels, just because Walmart only has like big packs. Also went to Marshalls. My mother ended up getting, she got something and a whisk. I don't remember what the other something was. Did she get a colander? She didn't get something for the dog. She got 2 things. I don't remember what they were. Besides the colander. I did get the first Christmas present of the year though. They had a La Crusette cup in like this very gray toned purple, and it's like my mother's favorite color, and she loves La Crusette stuff, and meanwhile she doesn't need any more cups. So first gift of the season, I need to It's currently bounced on top of my makeup stuff. I need to move it so it doesn't fall and break. Did she get a dog toy? No, she didn't get anything for the dog. What did she get? It had to be a kitchenware item. But this is from MPH by Mary Phillips. This is the Skin Weightless Serum Foundation. I know. This is not the brush I wanted, but it's the first brush that I grabbed. This is the BK Beauty 109 mini contoured brush. So you're just gonna... I didn't get anything. Actually I lied. I'm sorry. We also went to Panera because there's one right next to the Marshalls, and I got half a sandwich because I was starved. I got a Snickers bar at Walmart. I also got Hot Pockets came out with a dessert Hot Pocket. It's a fried apple pie with a cinnamon sugar crust. And I love the fried apple pies from whatchamacallem? Popeyes. Don't love Popeyes. So I'm like, I'll get one of those to try. So it's currently downstairs in the freezer. We also have a little cloud cake. We didn't go to Nothing But Cakes because even though they released a new bunch, they did not send me a buy one get one. So no offense, not happening. And I'm switching brushes because I knew that was going to be too small for my face. But like I said, I got tomato, basil, BOT. The guy taking our order was dumb as a bag of bricks. He's like, oh, the grilled chicken with avocado BOT. I'm like, no, the tomato basil. My father got a half a sandwich. He also got Asiago twists. He did not get the Asiago twists. And then he also kept cutting us off, like, oh, for here to go. Oh, for here to go. My father's like, we're still ordering shit. And then waited until after we said to go to ask what we want as a side for our sandwiches, because it comes with, either an apple, a baguette piece, or chips. I'm like, why wouldn't you ask that after we tell you what we want for a sandwich? This is from About Face. This is the Illusionist Skin Focus Concealer in F1 Neutral. I know. I actually love this formula. I wore this in March when I went to New York. The fairest olive shade though. And it was like an oddly warm day for March at least, and it wore very well, and it was it was like an exact shade match to the point my friend was like, I thought you were just having a good skin day. I'm like, wow, rude. I'm like, no. I'm like, it is concealer. Because, we were in the hotel lobby. I'm like, hey, does my face and my neck match? They're like, yeah, why? I'm like, concealer. They're like, oh my god. They're like, I thought you were just having a really good skin day. I'm like, hey. Like, it is a little rude, not gonna lie. But we're good on. But yeah, no, I have my fan off. That's how nice it is. I also have hair coming out of my clip, but c'est la vie. This is from Rare Beauty. This is a soft pinch liquid contour in the shade Hope? Gentle. Hope is a blush shade. Just gonna do a little. Oh! This was Thursday, so I haven't told you. Guess who had the absolute gall? The gall to show up for the shift. If you guessed the girl who called out and then disappeared for her next 3 shifts, you would be correct. Because, I didn't text her that she was fired. Because I was like, well, I figured, I didn't put anything on my nose. I figured the district manager would have done that because I don't have the ability to, fire people or do that paperwork. And, I texted her, I'm like, hey, you and I need to talk with the district manager before we can figure out, if and when you're coming back to the store. And she never answered that text, so I assumed she wasn't coming back. She showed up. I would also like it to be known that it was 15 minutes past the initial schedule that she was on after I told her I'm not expecting you in for your shifts, this week, but, are you alive or anything? She's like, I wanted to come in and still see if I had a job. I'm like, girl, you never responded to me. Like, no. This is job abandonment. Which I regret now because, I need employees, but, I can't have you doing this. And if you're overwhelmed with closing, I can't have you close. And then that still leaves me screwed for next week. Unless I can suck it up and do a double on Sunday, but I can't suck it up and do a double on Saturday. Because I still have to go in on Sunday. But since I have no employees, I still might have to go on Monday. And then this is from Rhode. This is the Pocket Blush in the shade Freckle. So we're going to do a little there, a little there, and on the nose. But I'm like, why would you... if I specifically tell you, hey, I can't have you in the store until we figure out, you know, what's good, what's going on. Why would you think it's okay for you to show up for your shift? And I'm like, girl. And like, I don't want to tell that to either the district or the assistant district, because they're going to be like, well, why didn't you text her that she was fired? I'm like, well, I don't know how to do the paperwork for that, so I figured one of you would do that. God forbid. God forbid. I'm like, I can't with you people. I'm so done with this job. And then this is from Haus Labs. This is the Color Fuse Blush in the shade Pomelo Peach. But you know what I love? You know what I love? Boston drivers. Boston men. Male drivers. Objectively the worst of them all. And then this is from Milani. This is the Baked Highlighter in the shade Dolce Perla. But you know, I was crossing the street. I had a walk light. They had a red light. He sped around the corner. I subsequently flipped him off, because what the hell? He rolls down his window to yell at me. I'm like, dude, you're the one who's speeding around a corner, which has no... You know, even if you did have the green light, there's no reason for you to be speeding like that, off that little side street. And two, you had the red light. I had the walk light. Not even the blinking walk light. The steady little walk signal walk light. So I'm like, why would you... And again, I was already in this side... I was already in the crosswalk when you came. Like, dude, brother in Christ, what the hell? Like, I know men are stupid, but like, damn. And then this is from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. It's just, I can't with the word anymore. I can't with this job. My shift leader and I were talking. She's like, oh, you know, if you could have any dream job, what would it be? I'm like, oh, Nepo baby. I'm like, I just want mysteriously large amounts of money to appear in my bank account, and I don't question it. I'm like, I don't want to work. Like, nobody dreams of working, do they? I'm like, my lip liner. Again, I'm so tired of everything. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, I'm supposed to do this for the rest of my life? Girl. I'm like, she has a baby. I'm like, girl. I'm like, you live in Massachusetts. And I'm like, you complain about savings and being able to afford things, and yet you had a baby. I'm like, that is the easiest way to not have money. Especially with how often that baby is sick. Girl. And then this is from MAC. This is the Maxwell Matte Lipstick in the shade Honey Love. I know I just did this exact lip combo, but for good reason. It worked. Also, my neighbor's dog died. I got a text from her person on the train on the way home. She's like, oh, hey, Mia. You don't want to talk to him? Like, that's weird. I'm like, I know they have like a vacation, but it's not until like October, and they never talked logistics that early. And I'm like, oh no, what if so I'm like, she just turned like 12, so I'm like, it's possible. 12, 13, 12, so I'm like, it's strongly possible. So I'm like, oh, you know, I'm stuck on the train, you know, I'll let you know when I get back. She's like, okay. And I came around the corner, and I saw her and her husband sitting on the porch without the dog, and I went, so, my sweet baby Angel Pepper. And again, like, they said that they weren't going to get another dog, but they said that after their last dog. And no offense to their last dog, Pepper was like the most special dog ever. She's just like one of those dogs that, like, everyone on the block knew her. Like, she was friends with everybody. She's just one of those dogs. So even if they change their mind about getting another dog, it's not going to be the same. No offense to any potential new dog. But, so now I don't know if they want me to pet sit, because they do have a cat, but the cat's less, you know, attention needy. You know, the cat likes me to an extent. I still have to feed her. I still need to change her pee pads in her litter box. So I'm like, it's just one of those I don't know if they're just gonna have the neighbor do that now. But, alright, I need to go fix my bangs, but I should be back in a second. Alrighty, and this is the finished look. It's nothing wild. I knew going into this it was gonna be nothing wild. Mostly because I still wanted to use the shimmer. And I didn't want to dirty that many brushes. And because I'm already wearing color, so I don't want anything too clashy. But, again, I've done this eye a million times. But again, that shimmer, I love Half Magic shimmer so much. It feels so weird not having a gloss, but I didn't want to mess anything up because this is a fairly good color match all around for the vibes and the scheme. I do love that tone of Freckle, because like all of my peach blushes are a little more peachy pink, emphasis of the Haus blush, but I still want like a kind of like semi-neutral peach base before I add any more pink, and then it just gets too much. And like I feel like this is just so peachy, so toasty, so warm, so cozy. But I'm about to turn my fan back on because it's a little too warm. A little too warm.